Your dad's behind the wheel. Your mom's in the passenger seat with a Rand McNally road atlas bigger than a pizza box, trying to refold it for the third time. Failing, the map's covering half the windshield. You're in the back with your sister, already fighting over who gets the hump. And nobody knows exactly where you are. Today you type the address into Waze. The app tells you every turn, every exit, every traffic jam between you and grandma's house. Back then, you trusted a piece of paper, a highlighter, and luck. If you missed your exit, you didn't reroute, you just kept driving, maybe stopped at a gas station, maybe turned around, maybe got more lost. This is the story of family road trips before GPS, before Google Maps, before smartphones saved us from ourselves. Station wagons with wood paneling, AAA triptychs with handwritten notes, the license plate game, and that feeling half adventure, half terror of being genuinely completely lost. Let's take that drive together. This video is a road trip back to the era of station wagons, impossible to fold maps, and are we there yet, said 1,000 times from the backseat. From packing the car like Tetris to getting lost and refusing to ask for directions to sleeping in motels with neon signs and chlorine-smelling pools. If you took road trips like this, or if you're just curious what it was like before technology, drop a comment, hit that like button, and buckle up. The preparation started days before you left. Your dad in the driveway, trunk open, playing Tetris with suitcases, coolers, and sleeping bags. Everything had to fit, everything had a place. The cooler went in first, heavy, full of ice and sandwiches and cokes, then the suitcases, then the pillows, no wasted space, pure engineering. Inside, your mom spread the Rand McNally road atlas across the kitchen table. Huge, spiral-bound, pages thick as cardboard. She'd find your starting point and your destination, maybe 1,000 miles apart, and trace the route with her finger. Highways, state roads, little towns you'd pass through. She'd write it all down on a notepad. Exit numbers, highway names, approximate times. If your family was fancy, you had an AAA triptych, a spiral-bound booklet custom-made by an AAA agent at the local branch. Each page showed about 50 miles of your route highlighted in orange or yellow. The agent would write notes in blue ballpoint pen in the margins. Good barbecue here, clean restrooms, skip tourist trap. You couldn't jump ahead, you had to trust the process. The golden rule, whoever sat in the front passenger seat was the navigator. That meant your mom usually. She'd hold the map, watch for exits, call out turns. Take exit 47 in 2 miles. The pressure was real. Miss an exit, your dad would sigh, the whole car would feel it. And you'd have to backtrack or take the next one and hope you could find your way back. Reading a map was a skill. You had to know coordinates, find A4 or E7, understand scale, estimate distances. Today, the phone does all of that. Back then, you did it yourself. And if you got it wrong, you paid for it in time, in tension, in your dad's silent frustration as he drove in circles looking for the highway. The backseat was hell. Vinyl seats that stuck to your legs in the summer. No air conditioning in most cars, just 460 AC, 4 windows down at 60 miles per hour. The wind roaring so loud you couldn't hear the radio. Your hair whipping around. Your sister's elbow in your ribs because the backseat wasn't big enough for 2 kids and personal space. If you had a station wagon, maybe you got the rear-facing seat, the one that looked out the back window. You'd sit there waving at cars behind you, watching the road disappear. It felt special, like you were in your own little world, until your mom made you switch with your sister because it's her turn. The boredom was real. No iPad, no tablet, no DVD player. You stared out the window for hours, counted cows, counted telephone poles, looked for out-of-state license plates. Mom, I saw one from Alaska. The license plate game was the only thing keeping you sane. You'd write down every state you spotted, trying to get all 50. Punch buggy was another classic. You'd scan the road for Volkswagen Beetles. Spot one, punch your sibling, yell, punch buggy yellow. They'd punch you back. Your mom would yell from the front seat, stop hitting each other. You'd stop for 5 minutes, then do it again. If you were lucky, you had a Game Boy, but here's the thing, no backlight. When the sun went down or you drove through a tunnel, the screen went black. You couldn't see anything. You'd tilt it toward the window, trying to catch light from street lamps. It never worked, so you just sit there, in the dark, waiting, bored out of your mind. It always happened. Your dad would miss an exit or take the wrong turn, or the map would be unclear, and suddenly nobody knew where you were. The mood in the car shifted. Your mom would go quiet. Your dad's jaw would tighten. The radio would get turned off. I need silence to think. Your mom would flip through the atlas trying to figure out where you'd gone wrong. I think we're still on Route 40. No, we're not. That sign said Route 60. Well, the map says, the map's wrong. The tension thick enough to cut. You and your sister would sit in the back, perfectly still, afraid to make it worse. And here's the thing about dads in the 80s and 90s. They didn't ask for directions, ever. It was a point of pride, a test of manhood. Your mom would suggest it. Let's just stop and ask someone. Your dad would shake his head. I've got it, we're fine. You were not fine. Eventually, maybe 30 minutes later, maybe an hour, your dad would pull into a gas station or a diner, someplace with people. He'd get out, walk inside, and ask the guy behind the counter. Where's Highway 40? The guy would give directions. Your dad would come back, pretending he'd known all along. But here's what you can't explain to someone who grew up with GPS. The fear of being lost was real. You didn't have a little blue dot showing you where you were. You didn't have a voice telling you to turn around. You were just out there, on a road, somewhere. And until you figured it out, you were lost. Truly, genuinely lost. The stops weren't Starbucks every 5 miles. They were rest areas with concrete picnic tables and vending machines that half worked. You'd pull in, stretch your legs, use the bathroom, which always smelled like industrial cleaner, and regret. Your dad would check the map. Your mom would hand out sandwiches from the cooler, then back in the car. If you drove all day, you'd stop at a motel. Not a hotel. A motel, 1-story, doors that opened directly to the parking lot, a neon sign out front. Vacancy. Maybe a Holiday Inn, maybe a Howard Johnson's, maybe something local with a name like the Pines Motor Lodge. You'd pull in, your dad would go to the office, come back with a key attached to a big plastic tag. The room smelled like carpet cleaner and cigarettes. 2 beds, a TV bolted to the dresser, a window air conditioner that rattled. The bathroom had tiny bars of soap wrapped in paper and towels so thin you could see through them, but none of that mattered because outside there was a pool. The pool was the highlight of the trip. You'd change into your swimsuit the second you got to the room, run outside, cannonball into the chlorine blue water. It didn't matter that it was cold. It didn't matter that the concrete scraped your feet. You'd been in a car for 8 hours. This was freedom. At night, you'd get ice from the machine down the hall. Your dad would pour himself a drink from the bottle he'd brought. Your mom would flip through channels on the TV. You'd lie on the bed, exhausted, sunburned, chlorine-smelling, and happy. Tomorrow you'd do it all over again, but for tonight you were here, and that was enough. The final stretch always happened at night. The sun would set, the sky would fade from orange to purple to black, and the car would settle into a rhythm. The hum of the engine, the sound of tires on asphalt, the glow of the dashboard, green and dim, the only light inside. You'd lie down in the backseat. No seatbelt, dangerous, yes, but also comfortable, your head on a pillow, your legs stretched out, your sister asleep on the other side. The vinyl cool now that the sun was gone. You'd watch the streetlights pass through the window, shadows moving across the ceiling of the car. The radio would fade in and out, static. Your dad would turn the dial trying to find a station. Sometimes he'd land on something, classic rock, country, talk radio, sometimes just static for miles. The car would fill with white noise, and somehow it was peaceful, hypnotic. You'd close your eyes and just listen. And in those moments, the world felt huge, endless, mysterious. You were somewhere between where you'd been and where you were going. No phones, no contact with the outside world, just your family, the car, the road, the night stretching out in every direction. That's what road trips were before GPS. Inefficient? Yes. Uncomfortable? Absolutely. Dangerous? Probably, but they were journeys, real journeys. You knew the road, not just the destination. You got lost, you found your way, you made memories. And decades later, those are the trips you still remember. The ones where nothing went as planned, and everything turned out perfect anyway. That was road trips before GPS and Google Maps. Rand McNally atlases that never folded right. AAA triptychs with handwritten notes. Station wagons with vinyl seats, getting lost and refusing to ask for directions, motels with neon signs and chlorine pools, and night drives where the world felt infinite. It was messy, but it was magic. Drop a comment and tell me, what was your family's road trip rule? Did your dad ever ask for directions? And what game did you play in the backseat to stay sane? Let me know. And if you want the full, longer version, just say the word.